You already know what you should be doing, and you're not doing it. You wake up already behind. You know exactly what needs to be done. The task is clear. The time exists. And still, nothing moves. Not because of fatigue, not because of laziness, not because of a lack of care. You hesitate, you drift, you delay. Later, when the day is gone, a familiar explanation appears. I didn't have the motivation. That explanation is convenient, and it guarantees the problem repeats. Motivation isn't the problem. Energy isn't the problem. Even discipline isn't the problem. The issue is quieter and harder to confront. There is division. One impulse pulls towards order, another towards comfort, one towards progress, another towards relief. And between them, nothing is decided. This isn't a modern discovery. It wasn't misunderstood in the ancient world. It was taken seriously. Long before this was labeled procrastination or distraction, it was described as internal disorder. This condition isn't new. In ancient Greece, thinkers weren't concerned with motivation or productivity. They were concerned with order inside the self. One of them, Plato, lived over 2,000 years ago in a world without modern distraction, without comfort as default, without endless choice. And yet, he identified the same fracture. He described the human interior as divided, not metaphorically, but mechanically. Reason pulling one way, impulse pulling another, desire negotiating in between. When no part ruled, the self fractured. Not emotionally, functionally. What he was describing wasn't weakness. It was misalignment. A person could want the right things and still fail to act because nothing inside held authority. Division wasn't confusion. It was a lack of command. Plato did not assume the mind was unified. He described it as divided by nature, structured in parts that do not automatically agree. One part oriented towards reason and long-term order, another towards appetite and immediate relief. Between them, a force capable of enforcing direction or collapsing into passivity. The danger was not desire itself. The danger was indecision. When no internal hierarchy exists, the self does not remain neutral. It defaults downward. The stronger impulse does not win. The easier one does. This wasn't framed as a moral failure. It was treated as a failure of command. Without a ruling center, the self becomes reactive. Momentary urges replace long-term intent. The day is shaped by whatever feels more tolerable. This explained a contradiction that still exists, knowing what is right and still failing to act. Knowledge alone did nothing. Until inner structure existed, effort scattered, resolve leaked, action dissolved into negotiation. Now return to the present. The structure of the problem has not changed, only the environment has. Resistance is avoidable, distraction is constant, comfort is immediate. There is no pressure forcing decision, no scarcity demanding hierarchy, no consequence for delay. So the division remains unresolved and repeats. Every day becomes negotiation. Every intention becomes optional. Every decision is postponed. That is why discipline feels fragile. That is why motivation rises, then collapses. This is why confidence appears briefly and disappears when no one is watching. The self is not failing from weakness. It is failing from divided command. And as long as that division remains, nothing stabilizes. Not habits, not routines, not goals. A divided self cannot be motivated into coherence. Encouragement does nothing here. Inspiration does nothing here. Only one thing changes the outcome. Command. Not loud command, not aggressive command, internal command. And until it exists, nothing else works. This is not a motivation problem. It never was. It is division left unattended. And until that division is resolved, the battle will repeat quietly, endlessly, inside.